Hello, sellers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling on eBay. So come on in. We're going to talk about a very, very, very important topic. It's one that I will get messages from regularly, and it's one I actually confronted myself this week because I had a very challenging week. Okay. And the question is, when should you stop selling on eBay? You ever had one of those days like, or weeks or months where you're just like, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm going to stop selling on eBay. I have just had it up to here. No, this isn't working anymore. And so come on in and let's talk about this. If you're joining me on my Facebook business page, I love to be selling. Thank you. And feel free to comment. Let me know your thoughts below. Okay. If you're catching this on my YouTube channel, Kathy Tyrrell, I love to be selling. Thank you. I appreciate it when you hit subscribe. And again, feel free to comment. Let me know how you're feeling, your thoughts on this subject. And those of you that download my podcast, Kathy Tyrrell, I love to be selling. So I was actually watching somebody on my YouTube, and the person talked about how they have decided to stop selling on eBay and they're looking at other platforms. And that's completely viable. I mean, this happened, years ago when Amazon first rolled out FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. A lot of sellers jumped on boat, and for whatever reason, they decided to leave eBay and really focus on Amazon. Some of them have come back. Some of them have learned about being multi-channel sellers. But I get it. I mean, sometimes there's something brand new, or there's another platform that you think really suits you or suits your items, whatever. And you're like, that's it. And you just want to focus on that platform. And that's completely legitimate. But what I encourage you to do is when you're having a day, and this is the person I was listening to, and they had faced a lot of glitches on eBay. So for those of us that have been selling for more than a couple of years on eBay, maybe if you're very new to eBay, let me know if you have never dealt with a glitch on eBay. So I've dealt with it multiple times, and I'm sure you have too. I'm not making excuses for eBay. I'm not saying it's okay. Every site has glitches. Okay. I'll hear about glitches on Amazon, even during their Prime days, which is really fun for sellers. I've heard glitches on Poshmark, on Mercari. All sites have glitches. It's an unfortunate part of dealing with the internet and putting everything online, right? So, but even in stores, like if you walk into a physical store, have you had this one happen? You walk into the store and their internet is down and they can't take any credit cards. They can only take cash. I've had that happen several times here in New York. Is it fun when you run into a glitch where your pictures aren't uploading, where a listing drops off eBay, or you might have a lot of listings drop off eBay? No, it's not fun. And it's work. And either you have the work backed up so you're able to re-upload it easily, or you've got to reconstruct everything, which is no fun. Okay. So yes, stuff happens. When it happens, I got to take a look at, okay, am I to the point where I'm just not getting that many sales on eBay? So maybe this is time for me to leave and then focus on another platform. And that might be the truth for you. Or I go, you know what? Stuff happens. This isn't pleasant. I will take the time today, this week, next week. I remember eBay had a big, it was a big image change. Again, this is years ago before the pandemic. And it literally took weeks to switch pictures over to what the new protocol was. I mean, weeks. You had to redo images on tons and tons and tons of listings. Big sellers were hiring, virtual assistants and things like that to do it. You got to look at, is it worth it? Is it worth it? So the seller that was sharing for them, it wasn't. They were just fed up with the glitches that they were encountering, even though they had a ton of sales on eBay, which I find interesting. And so for them, they chose to put their focus more on other marketplaces, and that's completely viable. But you got to look at, okay, this is annoying, but there's always something annoying. I mean, it's like, you may think the grass is greener, and sometimes the grass is greener because especially when you try something new. I know this is, like you move into the new apartment, you move into the new home. Right. It's great. And then you find out the issues. It could be the garbage pickup for the neighborhood. It could be your neighbors. It could be a lot of things. But one thing that's interesting with eBay, and I was actually I just caught this. So if you look at the Vendu blog that just came out, and I'm going to date this, this is December 18th, and Vendu users sell on a lot of different marketplaces. Okay, so you're talking people that are multi-channel sellers, that are part-time sellers, full-time sellers. Guess what the number one marketplace was? And these are people that sell on Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, a lot of places. Their number one platform, it was eBay. So I got to look at that. It's like, okay, the grass isn't necessarily always greener. I make X amount of money. This is really annoying. This is going to take me time. How am I going to make this work? Okay. The other thing that can really be annoying and make you want to leave, especially for my new sellers tend to run into this, is limits. Okay. So when you're a new seller on eBay, and if you've been selling for a while, you may never have run into this. But when you're a new seller, eBay puts limits on you. And the reason they do that is to protect the marketplace, because they don't know you. And they don't know, are you going to ship on time? Are you going to take care of customers? Is your item going to be as described? So they're putting limits on you, no matter how experienced you are, where you're coming from, because you might be a brick and mortar seller. You're really, really good. You're really experienced retailer, but you've never been on eBay. Okay. There's limits on you. And then every month you request them to go higher and higher and higher. It is frustrating, because I'll see this in forums, when you have a ton of inventory. It's like, I have all this inventory, and they're putting limits on you. So just keep requesting, keep requesting, keep requesting. And it goes. And as you sell more, as you ship more, you'll see that increase. So hang in there. It is frustrating, especially when you're experienced. You're coming in from another platform. You're coming from Poshmark. You're coming from Mercari. But that's why they're in place. And just keep requesting, keep requesting, keep requesting, and also shipping on time, giving great customer service, and you'll see them go up and up and up and up. The other time you might have limits, even if you're an experienced seller, and I hit this and I cannot remember the category. It might have been perfume. Because literally I had never sold perfume. I had sold vintage VHS. I think I had sold exercise equipment. And then I got a great bunch of inventory of perfume. I hit limits, which I was like, whoa, I remember doing this. And I'd been selling for like 4 or 5 years, but I had not sold in this category. And particularly, I'm thinking stuff like perfumes, you might hit limits if you're going into luxury. Again, it's about protecting the platform. And again, that's when you message customer service, whatever. But that can happen to you, even if you're an experienced seller and you go into a new category, is that you might hit limits. So just be aware, just keep, again, shipping, offering great customer service, and you watch the limits increase. Okay. The other thing that can drive people off eBay, they're just like, oh, I've had enough, is the updates. Now, recently, the updates have been really painless from what I've seen. I'm talking the last 2 or 3 updates. Honestly, they've been like a summation of things that have already rolled out on the platform. You're sort of like, okay, it's like, I've already seen this, heard this, seen this, know about this. This is nothing new. As opposed to in the past, they would roll out updates and there would be big category changes. You're like, changes in the way sellers are evaluated. You're like, that kind of thing. Lately, they've really been painless. They've really been like nothing. Like, it's like, okay. But just in case you do run into an update, and the ones where there's category changes are the ones that are the toughest, because typically when eBay rolls out changes in the categories, and it's the way they structure categories. They did this with postcards a while back, if I remember correctly. And years ago, again, pre-pandemic, they had a big one on clothing, which was like, and they really changed the item specifics. So it was an enormous amount of work for sellers to get up to date with what eBay was offering us for item specifics. And if you don't know, item specifics really drive search. So if eBay's offering you a bunch of item specifics, it's worth it to take a look at them to see if they apply to your items, because if they do, it can really help you the way you are shown in search. Okay. But they haven't done anything like that recently, but it doesn't mean it won't be coming. So when you hit a wall, glitches, it could be a really difficult customer. And again, if you've been selling even for a little bit, you've probably had at least one of those, right? eBay doesn't back you up. You feel very that you've done something very fair. You think eBay should back you up. They should remove the negative. They shouldn't force you to reimburse the customer for something. That can be frustrating. Okay. The glitches, the updates, but then you got to take a look. And again, if the truth is for you, I've had it. What I encourage you to do is give it a week, or at least give it 2 or 3 days. Because sometimes what will happen is, we're tired. We might have a bit of a cold, right? There's just a lot of stressors maybe going on in our personal life. And so you've already at a certain level of stress, and then the unreasonable customer or unreasonable eBay customer service just really pushes you over the edge. You're just like, I've had it. If you can, even though you might be going, that's it, I'm off, I'm done. Just if you can wait, just breathe. The other thing is really, I encourage you to listen to people that are positive, upbeat people. And I'm not talking like Little Mary Sunshine, like saying, oh, it's okay with the glitches. Oh, it's okay if you get terrible customers. No, they're frustrating. They're frustrating. It takes time, and it's your time. It's your time out of your day, and you already have only so many hours to get your listings and your shipping done. And now you've got to deal with this glitch. Yes, it's not pleasant. Yes, it hurts. But whether you're part-time or full-time, you're running a business. And this is a business that brings money for yourself and for your family. And the other thing is, it's a business that is very, very, very flexible. That's why I started selling years ago. I was taking care of my mom. She was in the hospital a lot. She was in the ER a lot. She landed in intensive care once for 2 weeks. And eBay allowed me to bring income to my family, and then to be able to walk away. I was a very part-time seller, and be able to take care of my mom, because I'd be at the hospital sometimes for hours. Okay. And if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. So eBay is income, and it is very, very, very flexible. It has millions of users. And the other thing with their international shipping, I can ship globally, which is relatively painless. Huge, huge. So yes, I'm tempted. I was listening to this seller. Yes, she was dealing with stuff, and her decision was she was going to go and sell on other platforms. Fine. I totally get it. But I was challenged listening to her, because I'm thinking, listening to her, she's been very successful on eBay, made a lot of money. And I'm going, okay, this is annoying what you're dealing with. It was glitches. But you're telling me you've never run into glitches before? It's like, have you not been selling on eBay for a while, or any platform? Okay. Every day is not like, yay, right? Some days are like, ugh. But I look at what's the big picture, and the big picture is the flexibility and the income. And then, as I say, stick with the winners. Is sellers that are very realistic, right? They're not going to tell you, oh, goody glitches, because those people, I'm like, oh yeah, please. The Little Mary Sunshine types. Oh, I just love eBay. Okay, I love eBay too. And there's days where you're just like, ah. But it's income and it's flexibility. And I encourage you to go and read your feedback, because by and large, the feedback you get from people is lovely. Okay. It's less feedback than it used to be in previous years, but it'll be things like, thank you so much. I appreciate the fast shipping. Thank you for the quality. Thank you for the careful wrapping. It is worth it. It is worth it. So on those days when you're like, that's it, I'm done, or you're listening to people that are saying that, okay, just breathe and look for yourself. Okay. And then also, I encourage you to have positive but truth tellers around you, and to focus on, but what are the benefits? Okay. There's this annoyance, but what are the benefits? Income, flexibility. And if the income's down a bit, hop on my website, ilovetobeselling.com. And I've got a bunch of free tip sheets. Grab the ones that look good to you. And I'm going to share one with you right now, because we are in the holidays. That's why I have my candy canes around my neck. And I'm going to show this to you. Hang on a second. Does it? Okay, it's a bit not misbehaving. So just hang on a second. Go to I Love to Be Selling. And what you're going to do is you're going to see eBay holiday sales and social media tips. And this is completely free. Again, all through the holidays, but don't forget, people keep shopping right after Christmas and into the new year. Tips that are like literally can take minutes and help to increase your sales on eBay. Because again, sometimes sales dip and it's annoying and it's discouraging. because you want that income, right? There's bills to be paid. There's things you want to buy. And the sales tips will help you with that. And also some social media tips. Super easy to do. Not huge time consuming, not like you got to spend hours and hours, but helps to get more traffic to your items. Okay. And Debbie shared, hi, Debbie, how are you? She says, I've not gotten to quitting on eBay, but it has been close. And there are times when it's annoying. Spreading out has saved me. Yes, it's good to sell multi-channel. But the thing I found so interesting with the Vendu blog is, and these are multi-channel sellers that are on multiple sites, again, part-time, full-time, is that eBay is their number one site. So grab my free tips that'll help you. Top eBay holiday sales and social media tips. And again, if you have a day like, please, you're more than welcome to message me. You can message me on Facebook or Instagram. But I encourage you to grab your mind. And again, it might take a day or two and just go, okay, but what are the benefits? What are the benefits? And again, I encourage you to be smart about who you listen to. Because if you're listening to people all day long that are complaining and screaming and yelling and pointing out the flaws, again, there's certainly flaws. eBay's not perfect. No site is perfect. But while I'm noting the frustration that I'm dealing with, let it be customer service, a buyer, eBay, glitches, is not to lose sight of the many, many things that work. So enjoy my free holiday sales and social media tips. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling on eBay.